Hey, good morning, my good people. Good morning, good morning. It's your boy Jay. Once again, it's a beautiful, gloomy Sunday. I don't know if you can see, but where's that? Where? Clear skies. The sun is trying to rise. It is approximately 6:45 a.m. Eastern Time. Like, subscribe. Let's talk about complaining. There's a lot of folks are complaining about the fact that they got to work more. The fact that their schedule is changing. Now they got to work longer hours. Now their days off are split. Or maybe they go from having 2 days off to maybe having 1 day off. Folks are complaining. People are mad. People are upset that they got a raise, but they feel like it wasn't enough or it wasn't worth it. I'm here to tell you, people, if you're still working, if you still have a job, if you haven't lost any money, if you haven't lost any hours, or your salary hasn't been cut, I'm here to tell you, be thankful. Be thankful that you're still working. Yeah, you might not be making enough or getting ahead, but you're able to still pay your bills, and you might have enough just to put gas in your car, buy a little groceries to get you back and forth to work, or whatever the case is. Furthermore, if you have a vehicle, a reliable vehicle, whether if you got car payments or if it's paid off, and you're working a job and you feel you cannot get ahead, but you haven't lost any hours, it's just that the raise that they're giving you, it's just you feel like it's not enough. There's two things you can do. One, if you have a reliable vehicle, hey, tap into some of these gig apps. DoorDash, Uber Eats, Roadie. There's a lot of things that you can do with your vehicle to supplement that money. Then also sit down and go back to the drawing board. Is there anything that you can get rid of? Maybe it's Netflix, a bunch of Netflix, Apple Play, whatever subscriptions that you're paying for. Get rid of them. Go back to the drawing board. If you can, if you're paying an egregious amount in car insurance, maybe you shop around for cheaper car insurance. Especially if you have a paid off vehicle. It's paid off. It's maybe 5, 10, maybe 15 years old, and you're carrying full coverage. Maybe you want to go down to just regular liability, because 9 times out of 10, if anything happened to that vehicle, that's 10 plus years old, the insurance company ain't gonna give you nothing. You might get 500, you might get 1,000. So you have to look at that. Don't sit here and complain about the wages, because you can complain all day long, and at the end of the day, when you get that raise in January, March, or December, it's never going to be enough. It's never. They can say, you know what? Your company come to you and say, you know what? Everybody is going to get a $5 raise. Everybody be like, yes, happy, yes. You get that $5 raise. The next thing you know, the Fed start raising everything. Interest rates, gas prices, food prices, everything start going up. Because what happens is, when that employer gives you more money, what you do? You go spend more money. You go spend it. You pump it into the economy. So it's going to raise up everything. Next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, I got a $5 raise, and now I'm back to square one. So it's true what they say, and I had to come to my senses about that. It's true what they say. It's not income problem. It's just a spending problem. Everybody, I'm guilty of this. Everybody increases their lifestyle when they go to make more money. See, if you don't increase your lifestyle because you're making more money, you're winning. And a lot of us, we get that big raise or that big bonus. We still got a car note. We still got credit card debt that we're just paying the bare minimum, but you don't realize you're paying 25 and 30% interest. The bare minimum. You're wondering like, dang, I'm paying the bare minimum. Why is it not going down? What the heck is going on? You got personal loans. You got student loans. So once you get rid of all your debt, you get to see more money. Frequently check your credit. 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 Man, it's true. If you have no debt, you see more money. You see more money. I realize that as I eliminated some of the debt, or before I found out about, credit and all that stuff, and what hurts your credit. A lot of that stuff, I just said, man, I'm not finna pay it. It fell off after 7 years, this and that, not knowing 7 years is a long time to wait for something to fall off because you took out a loan and you allowed it to wait 7 years for it to fall off. That's 7 years of that's killing your credit that you might be able to get things, but you're going to pay a higher interest because you got bad credit. So we got to stop the complaining. We have to come to realization that you're not going to get that raise that you think you deserve. Unless maybe you go to college and you go in the STEM field, you get an engineering degree, doctorate degree, lawyer or something like that. But if you have no degree and you have the trade school, hey, trade schools are real good because you're going to work for a company, and then on the side you can do your little side hustle. Like look at, I don't know if you can see that guy right there that's driving around. I see this guy every day. He's got a fairly new Silverado pickup truck, and he goes around neighborhoods and picking up scrap junk that no one wants. Like he's got a couple refrigerators, a couple stoves, he got a bunch of scrap that he's go pick up, and take it where it belongs, get cash. I mean, it's ways to make extra money, but the question is, will you do it? Will you set your ego to the side to say, man, I'm drowning in debt. I make a good wage, but I'm drowning in debt. I need to find a way to make extra money. My job isn't giving you any extra hours. There's no promotions going on. There's no higher up positions that's available because everybody's just stagnant. Everybody's they right there. They ain't moving. What I need to do, I need to come up with a side hustle. I got a car. Let me try DoorDash. Let me try Uber Eats, Grubhub, Instacart. There's so much gig apps out here. And then you never know. You might not have to do in these gig apps. You might just have to cancel your subscriptions. You might have to maybe cancel your cable. That's a couple $100. Get rid of that phone or pay it off because that you're leasing that phone. You know what I'm saying? Downgrade your insurance. It's a whole bunch of things that you can do. That's what I did. My insurance, we shopped around. We got the best insurance rate where we could find. Plus, our kids was on our insurance. Now that The kids are getting older. You know how these kids are. They want to get their own cars. They want to get their own insurance. So that's what my son did. That's what my daughter did. They got their own cars. They got their own insurance. So our insurance has went down almost $200 a month. Same thing with our cell phones. You know, I had one plan with all our lines, with all our kids and my wife and I. But I got a 20-year-old son. He needed a new phone. I told him I wasn't buying no phone. So he went out and said, I'm gonna buy my own. I'm gonna get my own line. My 19-year-old son, same thing. He got his own phone line because he wanted to get his little sister get her a phone or whatnot. So he did that. So he's paying for that. So my phone bill went down, and that's another thing. I shopped around. I was with Verizon, and if you're not with Verizon, they can be very high. We had a business account with them, and they sold us a dream. I paid up to like $500 and some a month. We had 8 lines. So most people are like, oh shit, that's not bad. Yeah, it's not bad, but I crossed over, shopped around, went to T-Mobile. Went from paying $565 with Verizon to now I was paying $342. Then we dropped 2 lines. Now I'm paying $240 for 5 lines. So that's what I'm saying. You gotta shop around. If you want to lower your expenses, because like I say, yeah, you're right. The wages are not going up. Man, you can complain all day. Oh man, not making enough money. Well, how much you making? Well, shit, I'm making 120. I'm making 108. I'm making 102. I'm making 95. What you mean not making? Oh, you got kids? No, I got no kids. I live by myself. Like, what's the problem? It's just you. Like, it's just you. So you can't live making 95? Something wrong. Or you got some individuals I know, making well over 100. The kids are growing out the house. The wife is stay-at-home mom. She's stay-at-home wife. Because now the kids are gone, so you can't say stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, and they say they're struggling. So we all gotta go back to a drawing board. Sit down, my good people. Look at your expenses. It works, I tell you. It works when you look at your expenses and stuff that you see you can cut back, stuff that you can get reduced, whether it's your phone bill, car insurance, or whatever the case is. We got to stop complaining, because complaining isn't going to do anything. It's not going to work. We can complain to dead horse or whatever. It just ain't going to work. You're going to make enough money. You're making enough money. You have to manifest it, say it. I'm making enough money. I'm making enough money. I have said this for years. If I can only make 100,000, so now you make 100,000. The good Lord has allowed you to make 100,000. Now you're making 100,000, and you're struggling. You're like, well, dang. Well, I should have stayed making 70. So, in these times, folks, to this day, starts today. If you have been one of those individuals that's complaining about finances, about how your job isn't giving no good raises, I'm here to tell you, 9 times out of 10, you will get a raise, but you're not going to get the raise that you want. Especially if it's one of those jobs where they just give you yearly raises. You don't go in for evaluation or whatnot. Your raises, not based on your evaluation. Because some of these companies, your raise is based on your evaluation, based on your performance that you have done the last 6 months, 12 months. That's how it determine if you get $1, 50 cents, 25 cents, $2. But if you with if you with a company like where I work, I'm a food service driver. We don't get a raise based on our performance, based on how good we deliver. We get a bonus. We get a bonus every paycheck, and it involves scan rate. Making sure you're on time, making sure you're delivering the right cases, and they're not damaged and all that. So we get a bonus every paycheck. As long as you do everything, your scan rate is good, all that, you get your bonus. You get a 15% bonus on what your earnings is. So, but we still do get every September just about, we get a raise, whether if it's on the bonus or on the component pay. You know what I'm saying? Our component pay, we get paid by the weight in miles. So we might get an extra 2-3 cents on the miles, on the weight of the truck. Like you said, we get paid by the weight of the truck. So the weight of the truck, you probably how they calculate that. Well, right now we get paid $8.57 per 1,000 pounds. So you can calculate that up. You take, say, the average weight of the trailer once they're done selecting the orders and building the pallets and putting them in a trailer for us to head to work. The average truck goes out with, just say, 32,000 pounds. So you take 32,000 pounds, you divide that by 100, multiplied by $8.57, you get what you make. Average driver, I say we're making on the weight, on a good day, you can make just on the weight, $400. And then you factor in the miles, depending on how many miles you do. You get paid, $18.50 for the little. It's an extra $17.14 for doing pre-trip, post-trip. So, like I say, after you add in everything, you know what I'm saying, you're looking at an average day, if you do local, 4 and change, depending on how heavy your truck is and how many miles. So we can complain all day long. But at the end of the day, it's a corporation, it's a business. They're gonna pay you whatever, and that's it. If you want to control your pay, or hey, maybe you need to get start your own business. That way you can pay yourself whatever you want. That's how I look at it, man. I came to a conclusion, man. You can complain all day, but that's not going to make anything better. Like I say, if you with that company and your raise is not based on performance, you don't get a performance review, this and that, they're going to give you a raise based on the earnings that the company has made in the last quarter or two. That's what the raise is going to be based on. So if they base on that raise and they say, okay, within the last quarter or two, we've made, just say, $8 million. With losses, but just say $3 million. So we're going to give everybody a raise by state, depending on by state, because every state gets different raise, different, so okay, Florida, the drivers over there, okay, on the miles, we're going to give them an extra 3 cents on the mile. On the weight, we're going to give them an extra 10 cents on the mile. Okay, what about the bonus? The bonus still gonna stay at 15%. So most guys be like, oh man, there ain't no money, that sucks. Hey, whether if it's an extra $7, $10, $20 a day, or whatever the case is, it's better than nothing. That's how I look at it. I used to be one of them guys that complain, man, this sucks, but at the end of the day, you're only gonna get what the company feels that they can give you. And a lot of people are like, man, yeah, but the CEO just like, well, hey, you can't worry about the CEO. You can't worry about his or her pockets. They're the CEO for a reason. Maybe you should try to become a CEO. And then you'll see how much money you can make and what you got to do and all that. So, folks, please, let's stop the complaining and let's do more. See what we have to do to get ahead. Because the way I look at it is, it's bad out here. But if there was no successful people out in this world, in the United States, I mean none. Everybody is living paycheck to paycheck. Everybody's broke. Nobody's barely working. Then I would get on here and I'd tell you, well, you know what? No matter what you do, we're never going to get ahead. We're all going to be broke. We're all going to be poor. We're all going to be middle class. But there's a bunch of people that are becoming millionaires daily. I mean, I think last time I checked, it was over 1,000 millionaires, new millionaires daily. So it's possible. It's all about, do you want to put in the work? Or do you want to keep living for the Joneses? So like I say, folks, y'all have a blessed Sunday. Stop the complaining. Less complaining, more doing. And not only that, but have more faith and God that you would get ahead. But you also got to do the work. If you don't do the work, if you don't sit down, like I said, I just told you what y'all do. Look at your expenses. Look what you can cut back. Because there are things that you can cut back. There is some stuff that you can't get rid of. You know what I'm saying? Can't get rid of car insurance. You're going to pay that. Your cell phone, you need a cell phone. Utilities, you can't get rid of that stuff. But the stuff that you can get rid of and cut and get rid of completely, get rid of it. Stuff that you can do more shopping and find the cheapest one, but still good quality, look for it. Alright? Grocery store, stuff's it's all gonna be expensive. It is, it's all gonna be expensive. Cut back on eating out. Spend that money, go to the grocery store. Do what you gotta do. Bunker down, man. Alright? Y'all take it easy, man. Like, subscribe. Hey, man. Peace.